Hey there, you. Yeah, you sitting there ready for a super fun story. Imagine it's December. The air feels cold and fresh, like when you breathe out and see little clouds. Christmas is coming and everything looks magical, like twinkling stars and snowy dreams. Now meet Jake Miller. He's just a normal guy like someone you might know. But here's the thing, Jake loves Christmas more than anything in the whole wide world. To him, it's the best time ever. He doesn't just put up a tiny tree and call it done. Oh no, Jake goes big, really, really big. Picture Jake's house. It's covered in lights, red, green, blue, and gold. They blink and sparkle like a million fireflies dancing in the dark. He hangs wreaths on every door, those round things made of pine branches that smell like the woods. And then there's his favorite part, a giant inflatable Santa Claus. This Santa isn't small like a toy. Nope, it's huge, taller than Jake himself. It sits right on his front lawn, smiling at everyone who walks by. When the wind blows, Santa wiggles a little, like he's waving hello. Jake spends hours outside, plugging in cords, climbing ladders, and making sure everything looks perfect. He wants his house to feel like a Christmas wonderland. The people in Jake's neighborhood, they love it. Kids run by and giggle, pointing at the lights. Look at Jake's house, they shout. Old folks smile and say, that boy sure knows how to make Christmas special. Even the dogs wag their tails when they pass by, like they can feel the holiday cheer too. Every night, cars slow down just to peek at the glow. Jake's house is like a big, happy present for everyone to enjoy. He's proud of it. He feels warm inside, knowing he's making people smile. To Jake, that's what Christmas is all about, sharing joy with everyone. But wait, not everybody is happy about Jake's lights and Santa. Someone out there isn't clapping or cheering. Nope, this someone is sneaky. They're watching Jake from far away, hiding like a shadow. They don't like his bright lights or his big Santa. They don't think it's fun or cool. Instead, they're waiting for the perfect chance to mess everything up. Who is this person? Why don't they like Jake's holiday fun? What are they going to do? Oh, you're going to find out soon, I promise. This story has a big surprise, a twist that'll make your eyes go wide. So don't go anywhere, okay? Keep listening because it's about to get wild. Let's talk about Jake a little more. He's not a superhero or a king. He's just a guy who works a regular job. Maybe he fixes cars or helps at a store, something simple like that. He's got brown hair that's a little messy, and he wears a goofy grin when he's happy. Jake's the kind of person who says hi to everyone, even strangers. He's friendly, but he's not loud or bossy. He likes keeping things easy and fun. That's why Christmas means so much to him. It's his time to shine, not to show off, but to share something good with the world. Now imagine Jake's street. It's a normal place with houses all in a row. Some have little decorations, like a string of lights or a wreath. But Jake's house, it stands out like a star in the daytime. When the sun goes down, his yard lights up the whole block. You can see it from far away, like a lighthouse calling people home. Kids love running past it after school. They dare each other to touch the big Santa, laughing as they go. Moms and dads take pictures with their phones. Even the grumpy guy down the street who never smiles looks at it sometimes. Jake's house is the talk of the town, and he loves that. But that sneaky someone, they're not far away. Maybe they live next door or maybe across the street. They peek out their window, frowning at all the lights. They don't say anything yet, but their brain is busy. They're thinking, this is too much, I don't like it, I'm going to stop it. Jake doesn't know about them. He's too busy plugging in more lights or fixing Santa's hat when it flops over. He's happy humming Christmas songs like Jingle Bells while he works. He has no clue that trouble is coming his way. Isn't that crazy? Everything seems so perfect, but something big is hiding just around the corner. Let's think about Christmas for a second. It's a time for fun, right? You might hang stockings or bake cookies with your family. Maybe you watch movies about snowmen or elves. Jake loves all that stuff too. To him, putting up lights is like giving a gift to everyone who sees it. He doesn't care if it takes a long time or if his fingers get cold outside. He just wants to make people feel happy. That's what makes Jake special. He's not trying to win a prize or be the best. He's just being Jake, kind, silly, and full of holiday spirit. So what about this mystery person? Why don't they like Jake's lights? Are they just grumpy like a bear who didn't get enough sleep? Or is there something else going on? Maybe they hate noise and the kids laughing bugs them. Maybe they think the lights are too bright and hurt their eyes. Or maybe, just maybe, they've got a secret reason we don't know yet. Whatever it is, they're not telling anyone. They're keeping it quiet, like a cat sneaking up on a mouse. Jake's out there having fun while this person is plotting. It's like a game, but Jake doesn't even know he's playing. Here's a fun question for you. Has anyone ever tried to ruin your holiday fun? Maybe a friend said your snowman looked goofy or someone turned off your favorite Christmas song. Tell me about it in the comments below. Oh, and let me know where you're watching from today, like your house, school, or somewhere cool. I want to hear from you. Stories like this are more fun when we share, right? And trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one. Jake got no idea what's coming, and neither do you yet. Let's go back to Jake. It's a chilly night and he's outside again. He's wearing a big jacket and a scarf his grandma made him. The scarf's red and green, perfect for Christmas. He's checking his lights, making sure they all work. One bulb flickers, so he climbs his ladder to fix it. There you go, he says to himself, smiling. The giant Santa looks down at him like it's saying, good job. Jake steps back and looks at his house. It's beautiful, like something from a movie. He feels proud, like he's made a little piece of magic right there on his lawn. The neighborhood is quiet now. The kids are inside and the cars aren't driving by anymore. It's just Jake and his lights glowing in the dark. He doesn't hear the curtains moving in a window nearby. He doesn't see the eyes watching him. That sneaky someone is still there, still waiting. They're not ready to act yet, but they will be soon. Something going to happen, something big. What do you think it'll be? Will they yell at Jake? Will they break his lights? Or will it be something even crazier? You'll find out, I promise. For now, Jake's happy. He's got no worries, just holiday cheer. He heads inside, ready for a cup of hot cocoa. The lights stay on, shining bright. The giant Santa stands tall, guarding the yard. Everything feels perfect. But perfection doesn't last forever, does it? Trouble's coming, and it's closer than Jake thinks. Who's behind it? Why are they so mad? And what's going to happen when they finally make their move? Oh, it's going to be good, really good. So grab a snack, get comfy, and let's keep going. This story's just getting started and the best part's still ahead. Okay, let's dive into this part of the story where things start heating up. Picture Karen, the HOA president. She's the boss of the neighborhood, or at least she thinks she is. She's got a clipboard in her hand all the time and her face, it's stuck in a big, grumpy frown, like she just ate a sour lemon and didn't like it one bit. Karen walks around like she owns everything. She's always pointing out stuff she doesn't like. "Oh, your grass is too tall," she'd yell at one neighbor. "Your mailbox is too rusty," she'd snap at another. Nothing makes her happy. She's picky about everything. If you sneeze too loud, she'd probably write you a note about it. Now let's talk about Jake's lights. You remember Jake, right? The guy with the super cool holiday lights all over his house. They're bright and twinkly like stars fell down and decided to hang out on his roof. Everyone loves them, well, almost everyone. Karen, not so much. The first time she saw those lights, her eyes got all small and squinty. She didn't say anything out loud at first, just stood there staring. "Too bright," she grumbled under her breath, like the lights were personally attacking her. She pulled out her little notebook, the one she carries everywhere, and started writing stuff down real fast. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Nobody knew what she was writing, but it didn't look good for Jake. The next day, Karen was ready to make her move. The sun was barely up, but she was already marching across the street to Jake's house. Her shoes went clomp, clomp, clomp on the sidewalk, loud enough to wake up the whole neighborhood. She got to Jake's front door and started banging on it with her fist. Boom, boom, boom. It sounded like she was trying to knock the door down. Jake opened it, still in his pajamas, rubbing his eyes because it was so early. He looked sleepy but happy, probably thinking about his awesome lights. "What's up, Karen?" he asked, nice and friendly. Karen wasn't friendly back. Oh no, not even a little. She pointed her finger right at Jake's face and barked, "Take those lights down." Her voice was loud and mean, like a dog growling at a mailman. "They're a safety hazard," she said. "A safety hazard means something dangerous, like if the lights might start a fire or trip somebody." But Jake's lights weren't dangerous at all. They were just pretty and fun. Karen didn't care about that, though. She just wanted them gone because they bugged her. Jake didn't get mad or yell back. Nope, he just smiled. A big, calm smile, like he wasn't scared of Karen at all. "They're staying up, Karen," he said, super chill. "It's Christmas." To Jake, Christmas was the best time of year and his lights were his way of celebrating. He wasn't going to let Karen ruin his fun. He shut the door nice and polite, not slamming it, and went back inside. You'd think that'd be the end of it, right? Wrong. Karen stood there on his porch for a second, her mouth hanging open like she couldn't believe he said no to her. Then her face turned all red and her frown got even frownier. She wasn't done, not even close. Karen spun around and stomped back to her house, muttering stuff to herself. She was mad, really, really mad. Jake didn't know it yet, but Karen had a plan cooking in her brain. A sneaky, messy plan. See, Karen wasn't the type to give up easy. When she wanted something, she'd keep pushing and pushing until she got it. And what she wanted right now was Jake's lights gone. She didn't care if they made people happy or if kids loved driving by to see them. To her, those lights were trouble, and she was going to fix it her way. Back at her house, Karen sat down with her clipboard and started making a list. She wrote down all the things she didn't like about Jake's lights. "Too bright," she wrote. "Too many colors. Too loud. Wait, too loud. Lights don't even make noise." But Karen didn't care if it made sense. She just kept writing, her pen moving so fast it almost ripped the paper. She was building her case like a detective in a movie, except she wasn't trying to catch a bad guy, she was trying to catch Jake. Later that day, Karen started talking to the neighbors. She went door to door, knocking and complaining. "Have you seen those awful lights?" she'd say, waving her clipboard around. "They're ruining our neighborhood." Some people nodded just to make her go away, but others, they didn't agree. "I like Jake's lights," one lady said. "They're fun." That made Corinne's eye twitch. She didn't want to hear that. She wanted everyone on her side, not Jake's. So she kept going, knocking on more doors, trying to get people to hate the lights as much as she did. Jake, though, he wasn't worried. He was in his yard, sipping hot cocoa and looking at his lights. They twinkled red, green, and white, making his house look like a giant Christmas present. Kids rode by on their bikes, pointing and giggling. "Cool," they shouted. Jake waved at them, feeling proud. He didn't know Corinne was out there plotting. He didn't know she was about to make things way messier than a spilled plate of spaghetti. To him, it was just another happy day. But Corinne, she was like a storm cloud getting ready to burst. By nighttime, Corinne was back in action. She stood on her porch staring at Jake's house across the street. The lights glowed so bright they lit up her yard too, and that made her madder than ever. She clenched her fists and muttered, "This isn't over, Jake." Her voice was low and sneaky, like a villain in a cartoon. She didn't have a cape or an evil laugh, but she sure had a mean look in her eye. Whatever she was planning, it wasn't going to be nice. It was going to be big, loud, and probably a little crazy. Jake didn't see her watching. He was inside, cozy by his fireplace, thinking about how much he loved Christmas. He had no idea the trouble headed his way. Corinne wasn't just annoyed anymore, she was determined. And when Corinne got determined, things got wild. What was she going to do next? Call someone, write more notes, sneak over and unplug the lights herself? Nobody knew yet, not even Jake. But one thing was for sure, this fight over the holiday lights was about to get a whole lot messier. So there they were, Jake with his happy lights and Corinne with her grumpy clipboard. Two neighbors, one big problem. The tension was building, like when you stretch a rubber band tighter and tighter. Something was going to snap soon. What do you think Corinne's next move will be? She's not giving up, that's for sure. And Jake, he's not backing down either. This holiday showdown was just getting started, and it was going to be a doozy. All right, let's keep this story rolling. Things are about to get even more exciting. So after Corinne got mad about Jake's holiday lights, she didn't just sit around feeling grumpy. Oh no, she turned into a real holiday Grinch, like the green guy who hates Christmas, but with a clipboard instead of a sleigh. For the next few days, Corinne was on a mission. She wasn't going to let Jake's twinkly lights win this fight. She had tricks up her sleeve, and she was ready to use them. First, Corinne started leaving notes on Jake's doorstep. Not nice notes like "have a great day." Nope, these were mean ones. She'd sneak over when nobody was looking, drop a note, and run back home. One said, "Your lights are blinding me," in big angry letters. Another said, "This is against the rules." Jake found them every morning when he went to get his newspaper. He picked them up, read them, and just laugh. "Blinding her," he'd say to himself. "They're just lights." He didn't get mad or scared. Instead, he decided to have some fun. He went to the store, bought even more lights, and strung them up all over his house. Now his place looked like a giant glowing candy cane. He did it just to mess with Corinne, and it worked. She was furious. The neighbors started noticing all this craziness. They'd peek out their windows or chat over their fences about it. Some of them were on Jake's side. "I love those lights," said Mr. Thompson, who lived next door. "They make the street look happy." A little girl named Mia clapped her hands and said, "It's like a fairy tale." But not everyone felt that way. A few people sided with Corinne. "She's right. grumbled old Mrs. Carter. Too many lights are messy. The neighborhood was splitting into two teams, Team Jake and Team Karen. Whispers flew around like birds. "What's Karen gonna do next?" someone asked. "Is Jake gonna add more lights?" said another. Nobody knew, but everyone was watching. Karen didn't stop with the notes. She kept walking around with her clipboard, talking to people, trying to get them to hate Jake's lights too. She'd knock on doors and say, "Those lights are a problem, we need rules." Some neighbors just nodded so she'd leave, but others told her no. "They're fine, Karen," said a dad named Tom. "Let Jake have his fun." That made Karen huff and puff like a dragon about to breathe fire. She didn't like hearing no. Every time someone liked the lights, her frown got bigger. She was losing, and she hated it. Meanwhile, Jake kept living his happy holiday life. He'd sip hot cocoa on his porch, watching his lights twinkle red, green, blue, and white, all sparkling like magic. Kids rode their bikes past his house every afternoon, shouting, "Wow," and "Cool." Jake would wave and smile. He didn't care about Karen's notes or her grumpy face. To him, it was all a big joke. "She'll give up soon," he thought, but he was wrong. Karen wasn't giving up, she was just getting started. Then one night, something weird happened. It was dark outside, and Jake was inside eating dinner. He got up to grab a glass of water and peeked out his window just for a second. That's when he saw her, Karen. She was in her yard across the street, packing back and forth like a cat waiting to pounce. Her slippers went slap, slap, slap on the ground, and she had her phone in her hand. She wasn't just walking, she was talking to someone. Jake could see her lips moving fast, and her free hand was waving around like she was mad. Who was she calling? The phone glowed in the dark, lighting up her face, and she looked snaky. Jake squinted, trying to figure it out. Maybe she's complaining to a friend, he thought. Or the HOA people. He shrugged and went back to his dinner. "Whatever," he mumbled. "She's just being Karen." But here's the thing, Jake didn't know what was really going on. Karen wasn't just chatting with a buddy, she was cooking up a storm, and not the fun kind with cookies and milk. Nope, this was a trouble storm, and it was heading straight for Jake. He thought she'd get tired and stop, but Karen, she was like a bulldog with a bone. Once she grabbed onto something, she didn't let go. And right now, that something was Jake's lights. She hated them more every day, and that phone call. It was a big clue, something wild was coming. The next morning, Jake found another note. This one was different. It didn't just complain, it warned him. "You'll be sorry," it said in scratchy handwriting. Jake read it and chuckled. "Sorry about what?" he said out loud. He crumpled it up and tossed it in the trash. Then he went outside and plugged in his lights, making them shine even brighter. A few neighbors clapped from their yards. "Go Jake," they cheered. He gave them a thumbs up and laughed. He still didn't think Karen could do much. "What's she gonna do, unplug them herself?" he joked to Mr. Thompson. They both cracked up, thinking it was silly. But across the street, Karen wasn't laughing. She watched from her window, her eyes like little lasers. She made that phone call, and now she was waiting. Waiting for what? Nobody knew yet, not Jake, not the neighbors, not even the kids on their bikes. The air felt funny, like when you know a big rain is coming but the sky's still clear. Something was building up step by step. Karen's notes were meaner, her walks were faster, her clipboard was fuller, and that phone call, it was the start of something big. Jake kept going, adding a few more snowmen to his yard. The lights danced in the wind and the street glowed like a party. He didn't see the storm yet. He didn't hear the thunder Karen was stirring up, but it was there, getting closer every minute. The neighbors whispered more. "She's up to something," Mrs. Carter said, shaking her head. "Jake better watch out," Mr. Thompson added. They were right, but Jake didn't know it. He just kept smiling, thinking he'd won. So there it was, Karen plotting, Jake shining, and the whole neighborhood holding its breath. Who was Karen talking to on that phone? What did her warning note mean? Was she really going to make Jake sorry? The answers were coming, but not yet. For now it was all little clues, like puzzle pieces scattered around. The fight over the lights was growing, and soon something big was going to pop. What do you think happens next? Karen's got a plan and Jake got no idea. This holiday mess was about to get way messier. Okay, here we go. This is the best part of the story. It's the next evening and things are about to get wild. Imagine this, the sun's gone down, the sky's all dark, and Jake's house is glowing like a big happy Christmas star. His lights are twinkling red, green, white, making everything look so pretty. Kids are still riding by on their bikes, pointing and giggling. Neighbors are peeking out their windows, sipping hot cocoa. It's a regular night, right? Nope. Not tonight. Something huge is about to happen, and it all starts with some flashing lights. Not Jake's lights, but something else. Suddenly, red and blue lights start flashing outside Jake's house. Not holiday lights, police lights. You know, the kind you see on cop cars, spinning around and lighting up the whole street. Everyone stops what they're doing. The kids drop their bikes. Neighbors spill out onto their porches. "What's going on?" they whisper. Across the street, there's Karen. She's standing on her lawn, arms crossed tight, and she's got this big smirk on her face, like she just won a prize. Her eyes are glued to Jake's house, and she's waiting. Waiting for what? Oh, you'll see. See, Karen had done something sneaky. She picked up her phone the night before and called 911. Yep, the emergency number. She told them Jake's decorations were a huge problem. "It's an emergency," she said, her voice all loud and dramatic. "Those lights are a fire hazard. They might burn the whole neighborhood down." Then she added, "They're blinding drivers. Someone's gonna crash." None of that was true, of course. Jake's lights were safe and pretty, not dangerous. But Karen didn't care about the truth. She just wanted the cops to come and make Jake take everything down. She thought she'd finally won. So there she is, smirking on her lawn, watching the police car pull up. Two officers step out, their badges shining under Jake's lights. They walk up to his front door and Karen's practically bouncing with excitement. They're gonna bust him, she thinks. He'll have to rip those lights down and I'll be the hero. She's so sure of herself, standing there with her arms crossed, her nose in the air. The neighbors are watching too, holding their breath. Some of them are worried for Jake. Is he in trouble? Little Mia asks her mom. Others are just curious. "What's Karen up to now?" Mr. Thompson mutters. The cops knock on Jake's door. Knock, knock, knock. It's a loud sound echoing down the quiet street. Everyone waiting to see what happens. Will Jake get mad? Will he yell? Will the cops drag him out and turn off his lights? The door swings open and there's Jake. He's not scared or angry. Nope, he's got a big happy grin on his face, like he's about to hug someone. "Hey, good to see you guys," he says, loud and cheerful. The cops grin back at him. "Hey, Jake." One of them says, giving him a friendly wave. "Wait, what? Why are they so happy? Why aren't they mad?" Karen's smirk disappears. Poof, gone like a balloon popping. Her mouth drops open and her eyes get all wide. She doesn't understand what's happening. The cops aren't yelling at Jake. They're not telling him to take the lights down. They're laughing. Yep, the officers start chuckling, shaking their heads like they just heard a funny joke. Karen's face turns pink, then red, then almost purple. She's confused, and she doesn't like it one bit. "What's going on?" she yells from her lawn, stomping her foot. The neighbors lean closer, trying to hear. Here's the big secret Karen didn't know. Jake wasn't just some regular guy who loved Christmas lights. He was a cop. That's right, Jake worked at the police station. He wore a uniform, drove a police car, and helped people every day. Those officers at his door, they weren't strangers, they were his friends. Karen thought she'd called the cops to get Jake in trouble, but she had no idea he was one of them. It was like she'd tried to catch a fish, but the fish turned out to be the fisherman. One of the officers turns to Karen, still laughing a little. "Karen, we're not here for Jake," he says nice and clear so everyone can hear. "We're here because he invited us to check out the lights." Yep, Jake had called his cop buddies earlier that day. "Hey, come see my decorations," he'd told them. "Bring some hot cocoa, we'll hang out." He didn't know Karen had called 911, but it didn't matter. The cops were there for fun, not trouble. They liked Jake, and they liked his lights too. Karen's jaw drops even lower, like it might fall right off her face. "What?" she squeaks. She can't believe it. She thought the police would shut Jake down, but instead they're on his side. The neighbors start giggling. Mr. Thompson slaps his knee and says, "Oh, this is too good." Little Mia claps her hands and cheers. "Yay, Jake." Even grumpy Mrs. Carter cracks a tiny smile. Karen's big plan, it's falling apart right in front of her, and she can't do a thing about it. Jake steps outside, still grinning, and shakes hands with the cops. "Glad you like the lights," he says. "Wanna stick around? I've got snacks." The officers nod. "These are awesome, Jake," one says, looking up at the glowing snowmen and stars. "Best house on the block." They don't even look at Karen, they're too busy admiring the decoration. She's standing there all alone, her arms flopping to her sides. Her smirk is gone, her clipboard's forgotten, and her big win, it's a big flop. The street lights up with more than just Jake's decorations now. The police cars' red and blue flashes mix with the holiday colors, making everything look like a party. Neighbors come out with blankets and cups of cocoa, joining the fun. Karen really messed up this time. Someone whispers and everyone nods. She wanted Jake to lose, but instead she made him the star of the night. The cops pull out their phones and start taking pictures of the lights. "Gotta show this to the guys at the station," one says. Jake laughs and hands them some cookies. Karen's still frozen on her lawn, watching it all. Her sneaky phone call didn't work. Her emergency story was fake, and now everyone knows it. She thought she'd be the boss, but Jake turned it all around. He didn't even have to try, he just smiled and let the truth come out. The big reveal wasn't just that he was a cop. It was that Karen's mean plan couldn't beat Jake's happy heart. And that, my friends, is when this holiday fight hit its wildest moment. What's next? Oh, it's gonna be good. Karen's not happy, but Jake's lights are shining.